Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eugenia Kim, and today I want to talk about some broad concepts. Life and identity. What comes to your mind when you hear the words life and identity? Some of you might feel overwhelmed because we often contemplate such concepts as a task that we agonize over our entire lives. Others might feel pressured because they obsess themselves to form distinctive qualities from others. These are true to some degrees, but in a sense rather extreme. In my own words, a person's identity is the characteristics that forms through the many events she encounters, and life is just full of unique experiences that mold our true identity. Granted, I would like to share a couple of personal experiences that played a decisive role in developing my own identity, overcoming a nasty habit, and finding true independence as a teenager. Most of you will know how much I love nail art and that I'm pretty good at it. But did you know that I used to bite my nails all the times? Actually, all of my nails were extremely short because I would bite off the tips every time I stressed out. I would do so even when my nails are too short to bite. As a result, my nails became really fragile and often bleed. So I tried to overcome that horrible habit many times, but I failed. However, my life changed drastically after I got interested in nail art. I saw some photos of nail arts that someone posted on the internet one day. The designs were glossy and colorful enough to catch an 11-year-old girl's attention. So I immediately bought some nail polish to try out some designs, but it turned out to be a terrible purchase since my nails are too short to do anything. The nails in the pictures were long enough to serve some cute designs, but mine weren't. As much as I was disappointed, however, I promised myself to grow my nails just for a month and see what I can do on them. Thus, I carried the nail polish bottle everywhere and kept it near me so I could constantly remind myself not to bite on my nails. After a month, my nails finally grew long enough to serve some cute designs, and the final piece came up pretty well. I was very proud of myself that I endured many days to overcome my bad habit. I have never bitten my nails ever since that successful moment. Therefore, by feeling a sense of accomplishment, I learned how to overcome my personal weaknesses, and that is now a part of who I am. Also, understanding the meaning of true independence helped me to form my identity. When I was younger, I was never alone in my house since I have two sisters, one older and one younger. My sisters and I shared the same room, slept in the same bed, ate at the same table, and studied together in the same place. Having two siblings around me all the time made me to rely on them without my knowing, and in turn, my identity was being molded in an environment where it was impossible for me to be independent. Basically, I didn't have any space, literally and figuratively. I was deprived of opportunities to solve my own problems because my sisters were constantly there, monitoring me, giving me an unwanted hand, all the while judging my performance. I then started to observe myself in the eyes of others and evaluate myself upon their subjective point of views. I started feeling annoyed by my sisters, and perhaps vice versa. I knew I had to make a move, so I suggested we separate our rooms for personal space and privacy. I enjoyed life in my own room just for a few weeks. During that time, I was way over my head, thinking that I fulfilled all the factors of being an independent teenager. Yes, I did have my own space, and I did deal with my own problems, but I was met with a much bigger problem when I started to deliberately isolate myself from my sisters. I would walk straight into my room after school, shut the door behind me, and trap myself in the small cave for the sake of privacy and independence. I failed to notice even the most trivial events of my sister's life, and they were much alike with my own existence. I felt a growing distance among us, and I knew something was terribly wrong with my independent expression. Such lifestyle was far from true independence. It was merely isolation, segregation, and loneliness. Today, I continue to use my own room because I still believe that personal space and privacy are the necessary elements for personal growth. Nevertheless, I don't completely isolate myself in my room anymore. I realize that true independence is not simply just shutting myself off from the world around me. True independence is the ability to make my own decisions while living in an interactive environment. The significance of such reciprocation is clear. I may accept rational advice, objective judgment, and subjective criticism made by others, but never let them interfere with my own decisions. This realization helped me to form more mature identity and prepare myself to be a better independent individual. These personal stories are often considered trivial, and most people may experience these kind of events once in their lives. However, I believe that true identity naturally forms through these little experiences. Also, even people who experience the same events cannot form the identical characteristics because one's identity is affected by the interpretation of each individual. Identity is a quality that no one can control or interfere with. We are all unique individuals. Thus, we shouldn't stress over who we are, what we are, and how we are. Enjoy your life's journey, everyone. Thank you.